Okay, for those of you that remember the song by the Beach Boys in 1962, She's Real Fine, My 409, that was the only song ever written about an engine, and it was written specifically about this engine right here. This is an original 1962 Chevrolet dual quad 409 horsepower 409, and this engine is going into a 1962 Chevrolet SS, Impala SS convertible 4-speed car. So it will be a very rare piece. Welcome to Gold's Garage. I'm Alan Gold, and from time to time I demonstrate my engines on this using YouTube. And the reason I use YouTube really is to demonstrate engines for people that I build them. In this case, the owner of this engine is 4 hours away from here, and this is going to be the first time that he sees it run. So, just to first describe it, and then I'm going to start it and run it for you. I used to start engine with open headers, and some of my neighbors like it and some of them don't, so I've installed buffers on my test stand, and so it's not going to be quite as exciting. But all the other parts for this engine are correct. I have done a complete documentation search. It's got the correct block. If you look up the block code number and decode it, it says dual 2.4-barrel 409 1962 Chevrolet. It's got the 690 heads, which were the very best heads. There's 20-some heads made for 409s over the years between 1961 and 65. And only two numbers, 690 being the most popular one, were any good. This has the original 690 heads. I've reused the original forged crankshaft, the original connector rods, the original pistons, and even the camshaft is a solid lifter camshaft, which in the day was what the 409 used. Not too many solid lifter cams around today, but this is original and correct. And when I start it, you'll hear a little clickety-clack. That's because it's a solid lifter camshaft. It also has actually the correct coded and sequential carburetors for the purposes of startup and commissioning. The back carburetor is not one of them. It's my shop carburetor. This is an Elderbrook carburetor. It's a carburetor I know and trust, and for that reason I'm using it for the startup. Once I get the full break-in done and all the diagnostics done, I will tune the correct original carburetors. We even have the original air breather for this thing that was in the car when it was new. The distributor is worth talking about. Distributors so original that normally when I do an engine like this I convert it to electronic. In this case we've retained the original ignition points that were used in the day. If anyone remembers, the AC Delco part number is D106P, and that's what's in this ignition. I haven't actually even set the dwell yet. I've roughly set the timing, got it running and broke it in. Got 20 or 25 minutes of a good break-in time on it. It sounds great. I've reset the valves once, and that was all good, and I will perform more diagnostics on it. So we're going to start it up quickly and demonstrate that it runs good for the owner, and that'll be it. So if we open the door. Okay, that's enough to prove to my owner of this engine that it runs good. Still some detailing to go do. As I mentioned, one of the carburetors is not correct. Some of the plumbing on it right now is temporary, and there's some detailing to do. We will, before it leaves here, it'll have all the correct fasteners for the intake manifold and valve covers, etc. All the hoses and clamps will be correct and be numbers matching for that car. And then it's ready to go. That's all I have to tell you about it. Thanks for watching.